And welcome everybody to the Lunacy Podcast. I'm Tony. I'm here with Dave and Dave. Dave Stevens, Dave Sterling. I'm Tony Pervenanzi. We are coming to you today from Invictus Brewing Company up here in lovely Blaine. Also located in here is the Tipsy Steer, a little restaurant in the same location. They have graciously allowed us to come back again. I guess the first time, guys, we weren't that bad, right?
Right. Yeah. And it was one of the first ones we did. So.
Yeah, that was quite the different atmosphere. We were sitting out on the patio for that way back in, what was that, June or July?
July 22nd.
Yeah. On the patio. It was nice to sit out there and have some great beers, and we're back again. You guys, we each selected a beer, and they have a lot of beers now. I think last time we were here, they didn't have as many, but they've upped their beer selection substantially.
I was gonna bring that up too. I want to say that maybe 6 or 7.
Yeah. So I went with the Hazy Crazy IPAZ, which is a hazy IPA, which I'm kind of into right now. I've gotten a lot of them, and this one is again a fantastic beer. Stevens, what did you pick up?
I went with Out of the Night. So that is a rye stout, and I'm pretty sure this is the first rye stout that I've ever had. But I've had a few sips now already, and I'm really liking it. Now, I'm just looking at the menu here, and I didn't go with the beet infusion. Now,
beet infusion?
I'm not exactly sure what that means. I guess you probably would take it quite literally. But,
I would.
I assume, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because it's described exactly the same way, except that it just says /beet infusion. But I didn't go with that. They describe this one as a kind of a sipping stout, and that's pretty accurate. But it's incredibly smooth, and they describe it as having hints of graham cracker, which I would agree with. So yeah, very very pleasant.
And Sterling went with something they just have a limited amount left.
Yeah, it's the last keg.
Last keg of it.
The Tyrannosaurus Press, which they did in collaboration with T-Rex Cookies and Bootstrap Coffee.
Okay.
And really good. Really good.
I'm wondering if the T-Rex cookies aren't the cookies that Tipsy Steer uses on their malts or their shakes.
Yeah, I don't know.
I got a feeling that might be it.
That could be.
And I should mention, I think these beers taste even better because our friends here at Invictus gave us the first round free.
Yeah.
So a free beer is always pretty good. So shout out to Invictus.
Shout out to Invictus for giving us free beer, which any brewery we go to should be giving us at least one free beer.
Hint, hint.
Right.
Hint.
And I think...
And most of them have.
Half of them, maybe?
More than that.
Or are we better? At least lately, I think it's all of them. But if you go back the entire time we've been doing this pod in breweries...
Yeah, I think we're slowly getting ourselves recognized for the work that we do.
We do work for the breweries. They let us come in, and we do work for them.
Yeah.
I mean,
marketing.
This place is, it's 11:30, and this place is fairly full, and I have to assume it's to listen to the podcast, or at least watch us do the podcast. I don't know how
it's not the food or anything, Dave.
Right.
Come on.
It's not the excellent beer, the really great building that they have here, the food or anything.
And we touched on it last time, and that's the one thing I'd like to bring up is the building is great. We were sitting outside, of course, last time, but here the wide open space is great, and the fact that they share the building with Tipsy Steer, I should say. Sorry, came off the tongue a little wrong, but it's just wonderful. So you can go grab some food.
Yep.
You can grab a beer. It's got everything you need.
Yeah,
they even bring the food to you.
They do, which is nice. Most breweries we go to, they have a food truck, which of course is outside.
Right. And
this
of
place,
course, Minnesota isn't always outside friendly.
No.
Oh yeah, and it's
not lately.
For a new brewery, it's kind of a lot of overhead to have a chef or a cook or a kitchen, to support that as a new brewery. But here, it's kind of a cooperative. Where it's two businesses sharing the space, so it works out great.
So I got to get into this a little bit, guys, before we get started on any United talk, because it's a story I want to talk about. We had a little anarchy at my house the other night on Thursday because the internet was down.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So as you guys know, when the internet's down, well, what can you do? Well, the kids are freaking out because they can't watch their games and they can't do this, and they think that Daddy can fix the internet.
Right.
And I said, no, Charter Communications is down across. I guess a snowplow hit a couple boxes in Wisconsin, and it hit Wisconsin and Minnesota. Wow. Charter Communications was down. I thought at first it was my modem. But then I'm like, I should contact my father-in-law because he has Charter both online and the TV. So I sent him a text, and he goes, yeah, it's out. This fucking sucks.
Just for future reference, you can fix issues like that just by powering off the router and powering it back on.
I did that, but then it was blinking the receive, so I knew it was outside of the...
Right, yeah.
Yeah, turn it off, turn it back on, Dave. I understand. So I knew that it was down. So, of course, myself with the cell phone is fine, but my youngest has a little iPad or iPod Touch. It's only Wi-Fi.
Right.
So she's crying because she can't FaceTime her friend, she can't do this, she can't play Roblox, all this other crap. At the same time this is going on, my mother-in-law calls, freaking out because she thinks that she planned her trip, her flight to go down to Tampa to go to Cuba. She thinks she planned it Friday instead of Saturday. So they're trying to figure out who's going to drive them on Friday. And at the same time, my sister-in-law, who's supposed to come up from Illinois to stay with my father-in-law for the week, and her company is allowing her to work from home, which was great, or work from up here. She calls and says she hit a deer with her car, and her car is now undrivable.
Oh, good God.
So all this stuff is happening. I'm home. My dog Draco is looking at me like, dude, we're the only two guys in this house, and all the ladies are getting crazy, and let's just get out of here, right? So I went and grabbed a beer out of the beer fridge, and I said goodbye to everybody, and I went downstairs in my basement thinking I'm going to play some PlayStation.
Sure.
Well, I have no internet.
Oh, right. So you just
So because I was so freaking out at that point, I hooked up my PS4 to my phone and did the hotspot thing. Even though it was slower than heck, I could at least play some games.
I was actually going to bring that up, not for your benefit, but for your daughter's benefit. Maybe you could use your phone as a personal hotspot.
I don't want to talk.
Now you're going to make him feel bad.
But you're telling me you're able to play PlayStation games online using your phone as a hotspot?
Well, you can't play it like against multiplayer,
right? Yeah.
But you have to. Most of these systems now, you have to be hooked up to online for downloads and things to make the games work. So I could play most of the games that weren't requiring huge downloads, but
I'm still in the PlayStation 3 world, and actually it's in my closet. I don't pull it out. I'm not a gamer, as you know, but is it possible on a PlayStation 4 to play a game offline completely?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you can. Just the updates will say you can't be online for this game if you don't update it.
Right.
So, and of course, there's all the benefits that come with being online. There's the new downloads, new content. You know, of course, Netflix. You have all the different stuff you can watch on there. PlayStation View, which I have, which is TV. You know.
But now on that topic, PlayStation is doing away with the View and PS3 games for PS4 players online. You can't stream them anymore.
Yeah, no, you
can't.
As
of April, I think.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I used to do that. I don't have nearly as much time as I'd like. But
just a final note on the whole gaming situation. So there's rumors that the PS5, when it comes out, which they're working on right now, is going to be backwards compatible through every... So PS1, 2, 3, 4, you can play all those games on the PS5.
Okay. And so when you buy a PS4 game in the store, are you still getting a Blu-ray disc?
Yeah.
Okay. It's not on. You don't download
but
it. It's not internal storage.
I'm telling you this, I used to be a highly, I'd buy the game in the store. That was my deal. I had to have the hard copy of the game, right? Now I've come to see that there's better sales to download it.
Sure.
My deal was I bought it in the store so I could trade it back into GameStop.
Oh, right, yeah.
Now, the bigger games, I do that because I get better value. But for games that have been a year or two old, downloading them for $15 or $20, I mean, why not?
Right.
So it's getting to the point now where it's more downloads than people buying games.
Right. You know what I think PlayStation needs to do, and Xbox needs to do, whatever, is they need to set it up so you don't need memory on your console, and it's set up in the cloud.
That's an interesting...
I think that would be fantastic. Now, again, your internet goes down, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
But still...
But the nice thing about most of these game systems now, especially my PS4, is that, I wanted to upgrade the memory on it, the hard drive.
Yeah.
It used to be you could only do it, you could take out the old one and put a new one, which was easy. But now you can do it through a USB, like a hard drive external.
Yeah.
Which is what I did. I got a 2 terabyte external hard drive, hooks up to the USB, and guess what? It works just fine.
Right. Yeah.
So, but on the topic of video games, I do want to mention that we are on the BGN network, bgn.fm. We're also on iTunes, Spreaker, Spotify,
SoundCloud,
SoundCloud,
Stitcher,
The Minnesota Podcast Network.
Yes.
PodcastMN.com.
Check out photos of our
Instagram. We're on
locations.
Insta.
Facebook. Of course.
We're on Twitter.
Yep.
You can pretty much find us anyway. You just search for Lunacy Podcast on Google.
Yeah.
And you'll find us.
Yep.
So let's get into some United talk, boys. They signed the goalie. I think we talked about him last podcast.
We didn't.
We talked about rumor. I thought.
We forecasted it really because basically we all agreed that it's been a busy offseason. They had made 4 moves prior to the goalkeeper position, but we all agreed that goalkeeper was still an area of need. We did not bring up any specific names. Exactly, the goalkeepers they had on trial out in Arizona, but we did not talk about any new signings.
So I'm going to say his name because he's Italian.
Yes. Right.
And I'm part Italian.
And when I found out, I messaged you immediately.
Yes,
because
yes. Very exciting. It's very exciting.
So with your pronunciation, Tony, you got this?
I think so. It's Vito Manone, I believe.
I think that's correct.
Yeah, Manone.
I kind of go with David's French pronunciations, and I'll go with your Italian pronunciations, Tony. That works for me.
It's Manone. Hey.
I kind of wanted just to say Manone, but okay.
Well, it's like my last name, Pervenanzi. A lot of people say Pervenans because they don't do the E at the end.
Sure.
So.
Manone. Okay.
Manone.
Got it. Manone.
So he is from Italy. He's, 30
years old.
30 years old?
Yeah,
30
yeah,
even.
He just turned 30, I think.
Yeah. My only issue with him, he's Italian, but he's from the north side of Italy. My family's from the south side, so there's a little bit of a, rivalry there. But he's Italian, so I'll take it.
So so basically, just to clarify, they kind of signed him to I believe a 1-year loan. From Reading in England.
Reading,
out of their championship division.
And he's played. He played for Arsenal, which is pretty big, right? I mean,
was he started for Arsenal?
He
basically started in their youth system.
Okay,
and he came on, and he was serving primarily as a backup goalkeeper. And he played a handful of games there. Just basically. So he actually signed with Arsenal when he was 17, and he played 15 games in 7 seasons. So not much. 15,
his biggest was Sunderland, correct?
Yeah. So when he was with Arsenal, he was loaned out several times to English clubs like Barnsley and Hull City.
Yeah.
So
and Sunderland, he was with them. A lot of people were upset because he was with them when they got relegated.
Okay. Yeah,
but it takes more than a goalie to get you relegated.
But that's gonna be tough though when you're the goalie and you get relegated.
Yeah,
people can just blame you.
Yeah, and then going back, so he started with Arsenal, and then he moved to Sunderland, and he was there from 2013 to 2017, and over the course of that stint, he actually played 67 Premier League games for Sunderland. So he played a little bit more with Sunderland there, and of course Sunderland got relegated at the end of 2017, so he was there at the bitter end.
And I think it's important to put into context that Sunderland isn't exactly an MLS team, right? Mm-hmm. So if they get relegated from the Premier League, they're still better than an MLS team.
Sure.
Correct.
They're playing competition that is literally the best in the world.
That's right.
So, the fact that Sunderland didn't or wasn't successful while he was there doesn't mean a whole lot in the context of coming to Major League Soccer.
Yeah, no. So we're not blaming Manone for Sunderland's problems.
I mean, and anyone that does is just dumb.
And I want to bring this up because I've really been enjoying it. For anybody that has Netflix, there's kind of a series on there called Sunderland Till I Die, and basically it picks up and covers the team for a season. It picks up in the beginning of basically 2017-18, so after they got relegated. So it picks them up with a new coach, kind of a new team in the championship division, and actually over the course of that, I don't want to be a spoiler, but clearly that team has issues other than Manone. So